Hello. So now I'm here with State Representative Webster Barnaby. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. I have to just pause and say I think that the last time I really was around you much was when you were probably running for the very first time, right?
Yeah,
Which would have
yeah.
been before 2020. When was that?
So in 2012, I was elected as city commissioner for the city of Deltona, where I live, back
Mhm.
in 2020. And I ran for the state house in 2020 and was elected to the state house in 2020.
So it must have just been when we were doing all the stuff with the chamber up in Deltona that I was more in that circle with you. And
Yes.
then after that, alrighty. So let's talk about you're the best person for us then. This series that we're doing, we really want to talk to our readers and our viewers about why local elections matter. So really, sir, you're on the spot because you're the person that can tell them exactly what happens locally.
Well, everything matters locally where you live. You know what the prices are at the grocery stores. You know what the scuttlebutt is in the community. I serve in the state house. I'm currently the vice chairman of criminal justice for the state of Florida. And it's so important for me as a black representative in the state house, knowing fully well that most of the people incarcerated in our prisons are black.
Yeah.
And the causes and the effects, as I have visited prisons locally here and in South Florida, just to examine the conditions in the prisons and to make sure that we do have restorative justice. I was fortunate enough to bring $4 million into the prison system through a faith-based initiative program that helps prisoners learn skills so that when they go back in the workforce, they can get jobs in, air conditioning, electrical
Mm.
um, uh, work. That when they get out of prison, they won't get in trouble. They got jobs and they got to take care of their families and to be
Mhm.
better fathers, teach them how to be better fathers, better husbands. We want strong families, strong communities and less crime and more peace and more contentment. So
So they're
I've
they're
worked,
using that time and coming out with a trade that they
yes,
can earn from. Powerful.
absolutely. And I've supported that throughout both the public and the private prison system in the state of Florida. So I'm very grateful for the work that I've done. I was also the sponsor of the juvenile justice expungement bill, where if
Mm.
you were a teenager and you committed a minor crime like stealing a candy bar, well, before my bill, those children who committed those minor crimes could not go to a college, and um, they couldn't go to a college, and they couldn't get jobs because of their records. But
Okay.
because my bill passed that says it's a minor crime, the records need to be expunged, and it was expunged. Now those kids can go to college, and they can also join the military. Before they
Wow.
couldn't join the military. So
Yours is
that's
that.
just one
Okay.
one example of a great bill that I was able to do that helped a lot of people throughout the entire state and a lot of people in the minority community. So I've
Hmm.
been very, very active in getting things done in our state. And there's many other bills that I've worked on, such as the clerk of the courts bill, which allows the full employment of people who works in the clerk's office. So people who typically worked on speeding tickets and divorce cases and all the different things that the clerk's office do in every state, all 67 counties throughout Florida, I was able to get them fully funded so that nobody's getting laid off, nobody is losing their job. And because of that, the clerks of the court awarded me with Legislator of the Year, which is amazing that I won the Legislator of the Year award, and they presented that to me down in St. Petersburg at the Salvador Dali Museum. Um, God has blessed me to do a lot of things in the community quietly because, I'm just a servant, a public servant, and I appreciate serving the public. My uncle, I was telling someone earlier, used to be the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Hugh Shearer. And I remember when I lived in Europe, he came to visit us in England. And I got the bug, to get involved in public service, and never forgetting the speech that JFK made years ago, asked not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So, I waited 11 years after coming to the United States to become a citizen,
Mhm.
with a green card, where my green card had expired and I was about to be deported. I got a letter that stated I was going to be deported. Imagine that.
Lee.
And I had to fight for my rights to stay in the United States. And my congressman in Winter Park, John Micah, assisted me and found my immigration papers all the way in Washington, and called me and told me that I was going to become a citizen on the 5th of March, 1998. And I raised my right hand and I was sworn in as an American citizen back in March the 5th of 1998. Now I'm the vice chairman of criminal justice for the whole state. And now
Wow.
I'm also the vice chairman of elections and open government for the state. You know, I gotta
Wow.
laugh sometimes because I said only God can do that. Only God can do that. We come from the Caribbean. We come to the United States. We work hard. And just because our papers are not in line, we're about to be deported. But God,
Yes.
and here I am today on this beautiful Zoom interview with you, and no doubt there's people listening who may have been or may be in a position that I was in. But if you got
That's
faith,
true.
and no, I'm serious. And I meet people all the time that I've helped. I've helped so many people that I don't even tell people about. I've worked with congressmen and senators and people from all over the country to help people because I know that my Redeemer liveth. I know the position that I was in, but I know that where I am now, I didn't get there by myself. The good
Mhm.
Lord Himself put me where I am. So I'm here to help. I want to be a blessing to the people in the state of Florida. And I enjoy helping people. I enjoy being a blessing to others.
Well, I listen. As I said, we've followed you for a long time. We've definitely seen you be active in the community and be of the community, and not forget your roots. Some people get into office and completely forget where they've come from, and so we want to say that for sure has not been the case with you.
Let me just
Um,
tell you, it was just last week. I was with my good friend, Mr. Peter, who owns the Caribbean Sunshine Bakery on John Young and 50. And he
mhm,
said to me, he'll do anything to help me because he's been following the work that I've been doing. I serve on the Commerce Committee, I serve on the Banking Committee, I serve on the Tax Policy Committee. I've been so active at leadership levels and trying to help my community, whether you need a SBA loan, whether you need to, like I said, gain your citizenship like I did, whether you
mhm,
need to have your records expunged for your child who got in trouble, needs to join the military, needs to go to college. I wrote letters, I've helped people get access to things that they said it would never happen. But thank God, I understand where the Lord has put me to help people. I just want to be a blessing to as many as I can. And your party affiliation doesn't matter to me. It
mhm.
does not matter. You are a child of God. We're all children of God. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. And my job is to be a blessing to everyone in our community.
Listen, we're happy to provide this platform because again, this is what we're saying. It's a bipartisan effort for people to hear from the candidates. You realize we're not asking about party affiliation because it's
Good.
about it's about them connecting with you and then determining that already we're on to the next step, which is how can they follow you, how can they support you, because if your message resonates, that really is what it's about.
Well, people can follow me at votebarnaby.com. Vote Barnaby, all one word, votebarnaby.com. And of course, my website, my official government website is webster.barnaby at myfloridahouse.gov. Webster.barnaby at myfloridahouse.gov. When you come to Tallahassee, I'm at Suite 300 in the Capitol building. And in my local office is in D-Land on the third floor of City Hall in D-Land, Florida. So I have an office here locally in D-Land and an office in Tallahassee. My staff are the best. They are first class. And whatever you need, my staff is available to help you and all the different constituents that we serve throughout all of Central Florida and beyond.
So the only thing that I will ask as a charge, as a mandate, sir, I'm not in your district, but I'm a resident of Florida, is
Yeah.
that when you go back, once you're elected back and you go in, please, please, please hold every person accountable in there to help sort out this insurance crisis for Floridians.
Oh, that is the number one issue that we face every single day because right now Florida has the highest insurance rates than any other state in the country, and it's wrong. And part of the problem, to be frank with you, and I hope your listeners are listening to me, is that we have over 100,000 lawsuits
Mhm.
pending in the queue right now, waiting. So every time one of these insurance companies writes a check to settle a claim, a lawsuit, be it a $2 million, this attorney got me $2 million, that attorney got me $500,000, whatever amount it is, those monies are written from your insurance company. So every time the insurance company writes a big check, it turns around and looks at all of the customers it has, and then it spreads out to all the customers what it cost them to write that check. Many of the checks that they wrote were valid. Many of them were valid. Some of them, not all of them, were what we call frivolous.
Okay.
It really didn't, should never have amounted to such a big settlement. But because of the way that the current system is set up, for example, if you're putting in what's called a roof claim
Mhm.
and what's called assignment of benefits for the roof to be replaced, many times the price of that roof is being inflated. So the roof
Mhm.
may only cost $25,000 to replace the roof when the roofer knows that you have signed an assignment of benefits claim. In other words, there's going to be monies that's going to come out of the state coffers. Then they inflate the price from 25,000 to maybe 50,000, as I
Okay.
learned this morning when I was with a roofer this morning. And these claims are being paid, and every time a claim is paid, the homeowners, the people who have worked real hard to purchase a home, purchase a condo, purchase property, be it land or whatever it is, your insurance is going up through the roof. And so we're going to be working very diligently in the next couple of weeks to get together with the insurance companies and the companies that are filing these lawsuit claims to try and find out a fair way and how we can cut this down because it's absolutely hurting the state. It's hurting homeowners.
Yeah.
It's hurting people on a fixed income. It's very hurtful, and
Mhm.
we've got to find a way to fix it.
All right.
We've got to find a way to fix it. So
We sure
that's
do.
top of mind, top priority. I will be Santa Claus to everybody if I can fix that by Christmas.
Listen, it's funny because across the state, that's the one main issue that everyone I think can agree on, right? And so, if there's at least one thing that all Floridians are agreeing on, and it's that, then I think our elected officials really owe it to us to pay attention. So I'm happy to hear that you're on it, sir.
We're on it. We're on it very diligently on it, doing our best to solve it because it's no joke. It's a serious problem. My rates went up myself. How about a roof in my house for 20 years? And,
Mhm.
my roof, when I put it on because I built a custom home, was guaranteed for 35 years. And every week I get some roofing company telling me I need to replace it. I said, I got no leaks. If I've got
Yeah,
no leaks, why are you knocking my door? Why are you begging me to put on a brand new roof when I've got no leaks?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I gotta ask these guys who told them. And we just passed a law last year that says there's not supposed to be any soliciting by these
Okay.
roofing. They're not supposed to be going door to door.
Mhm.
And many of them that are doing it, they're doing it without any repercussions. We've got to have some law enforcement mechanism in that. We've got to go back and put something in there that says if they get caught doing that, they need to be fined.
Mm. So you think that's definitely a starting of an underbelly of some of the issues that we have with the high costs.
Well, that's part of it. One of the things we did is the My Safe Florida Home Bill, which allowed you to harden your home against hurricanes by replacing your windows and replacing your doors with hurricane windows or hurricane doors, which is a good program. And it was subsidized partly from the state of Florida. We had so many people applying for that that the website that the state created crashed. They
Oh
didn't
wow.
expect that many people going to the website. So now the summer is almost over. We're hoping that the ITech people have fixed that problem because we've got to be prepared to help the people in the state of Florida.
Mhm.
I do not like seeing people hurting, hearing the horror stories, and we've got to find a way to solve it. I'm not for punishing people, but goodness gracious, the people are coming in from out of state contractors who are here to prey on the elderly, to prey on those people who don't have proper legal representation. We're not
Mhm.
going to be merciful with them. We are going to come down on them like a ton of bricks.
All right. Well, sir, we like to make sure that folks know what can they help you with. You're running still, you're the incumbent, but you're also.
Well, people can go to my website and donate to my campaign. They can donate at www.votebarnaby.com. Votebarnaby.com has a link. You can click on the donate link and donate anything from $5 to whatever amount. The maximum is $1,000. But whatever you give, it's going to be a great investment in making sure that you've got great representation in Tallahassee.
And
Um,
tell us a little bit about your area, because I mean, like I may have started because I am familiar with you, and I don't think
yeah.
we really talked about the exact area that you
So
represent.
the geography of my area is all of D-land, all of Deltona, all of Lake Helen, all of Osteen, and all of the Spruce Creek flying. That's where those rich people fly their airplanes and
Hmm.
park the airplanes right outside their front door. And so I cover all of that part of Volusia County. It's real pretty out there. It's quite
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, you need to come out there and see how the rich live.
I have to, man. I have to, because I'm familiar with Deltona a lot. I have some
Yeah.
family who live there, but not all of that area. And what are some? I mean, like, what are some of the major issues for that area? Because again, state reps make decisions for the entire state, but of course, you're advocating for your home area, um, at the majority of the time, because that's what you're there to represent. What's the most pressing problem for the folks in that area?
So there's a lot of problems with what we call resiliency in terms of water projects, to the
Okay.
prevention of flooding, and building better roads because the city of Deltona has now gone from 85,000 to 100,000 people. One of the things that I was able to do, Daytona State College needed a nursing program to teach people to become nurses.
Hmm.
So this year I brought $4 million from Tallahassee. We've opened up a brand new campus on Deltona and another one in Daytona so that men and women who want to become nurses can be trained to become nurses. And we have contracts with Advent Health and Halifax Hospital where these people, after they graduate from the nursing program, are getting starting salaries at $72,000 a year. And so it's a great career where you get to learn how to be a nurse in the Daytona State College, and right afterwards you get employed by one of these hospital groups
Hmm.
and get really nice starting salaries, and you're able to purchase a home or rent or whichever way you want to start right here in the community. So I was blessed to be able to do that. I'm working on other programs as well. As I said, I brought money to the state prison, Tomoka prisons, so we can help with teaching those incarcerated who are about to be released a
Mm-hmm.
trade, so they have a trade and they can apply for jobs when they get out. So we want people to be fully employed in Volusia County. We're bringing economic development, and I'm working real hard, diligently to bring a program whereby nurses with a PhD in clinical health and mental health can now be able to write a prescription for their
Mm.
patients without
Okay.
waiting without waiting for a doctor with the MD designation, and sometimes it takes weeks before the doctor writes a prescription. People need their medications right now. So
Okay.
I filed a bill last year to allow PhD qualified nurses who work in mental health counseling to be able to write prescriptions. It didn't
Mm.
pass the first time I filed the bill because the American Medical Association was concerned that uh, we would expand the scope of practice for those nurses. Now, my bill states that the scope of practice will not be expanded. Those PhD qualified nurses will not be performing surgery. They won't be cutting on people. They won't be doing anything other than mental health counseling and prescribing the medication that's needed for folks that need their mental health to be
Mm.
properly balanced. So that's the scope of the bill that I filed, and I'm working diligently on that right now to get that passed in the legislature this session. So it's so important for me because my mother was a registered nurse, my wife is in the medical profession, and I've had so many people complain about mental health counseling, and it does affect a lot of Caribbean people as well.
We've
Whether
got
you have
a
post
person who
traumatic
is in our
stress,
circle who
yeah,
we've seen how not effective the current system is, and it
yeah,
is with regards to getting that medication quickly. Yep.
right. And plus, we have veterans. We have a lot of veterans who have come home
Hmm.
and had mental health counseling. My son's in the military. My son is a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy. He graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, class of
Hmm.
2015. He currently has 85 men and women under his command, and he's up for the rank of lieutenant commander. And we're proud that he's going to be an admiral one day. And yeah, he's going to be admiral one day. This boy's going to make everybody proud in Central Florida. Adrian Joshua Barnaby. He's a
All
great young
right,
man.
we're gonna keep
Yeah,
track of that name.
yeah. Look out for AJ. He played football for Navy for 4 years. He was on TV every Saturday playing football, and now he's an intelligence officer. Very smart boy. Yeah. So that's what I do. My family is active. My daughter's an architect in Orlando for Finfrock Design. She went to UF. She's designing hotels at Universal and Disney, and Brittany's her name, and I'm so proud of her. She's very active politically as well, and
Nice.
she has a club that she attends at the Citrus Club downtown Orlando. She's the secretary over there.
I
We're
look
just
out
trying to
for
be a
her over there. All
yeah,
right.
Yeah, look
Okay.
out for Brittany. Yeah, Brittany Barnaby. So we're just trying to be a blessing to this community by serving and using the brains that God has given us to bless others. You know?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I thank you. It was a pleasure. We won't make it this long again, for
No, no.
sure.
Thank you. Anytime you need anything, I love your Caribbean passport. I think you guys do an outstanding job. And I'm a reader, and I thank you for what you do. You're a blessing to this community. Always professional, always nice, and you just keep on being who you are, Gwinnett. You're a blessing.
Oh, thank you so much. And you continue to keep doing what you're doing because obviously you're being a blessing to the community as well.
Oh, I
So
just
thank
wanted to
you.
say as well, I I'm working with Mayor Jerry Demings. I sponsored the fetal alcohol spectrum disorder bill in the
Mhm.
House of Representatives. Currently, we only have one clinic in the state, that's in Sarasota. I'm trying to get a clinic built here locally because many babies that are born with alcohol poisoning are wrongly diagnosed as autistic. And you've seen a lot of kids listed as with autism when some of the diagnostic needs to be checked because many times these kids are not autistic. It's just that sadly their mothers, they drank wine or whatever it was while they were pregnant, and now the kids, They're either physically deformed or mentally deformed, and they
Okay.
need the proper diagnostic and care for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. I'm currently working with Spencer Munns, who's the head of the
Mhm.
law firm Bogan Munns and Munns. He and his wife Lindsay Munns, they adopted two children who were born with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and they've been working with me. We just had the Red Shoe Challenge back in September. Back last week, in fact, we were challenging the city for everyone to wear red shoes. I think it was Friday, the 11th,
Okay.
the 13th. But anyhow, Jerry Demings has been a blessing. He's one of his workers has fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and Jerry's also been a great help in this effort as well. So even though I'm in Deltona, I've reached out to my friends in Central Florida, and thank God for Mayor Demings and all of my friends in Central Florida. We have got to work together to solve our community's problems.
Well, definitely count me in. Let me know what I can do to help, of course. Let us
Absolutely,
know.
we'll get you involved in the fight to help little babies and little children.
Okay.
All
Count
right.
us in.
I have
All
a
right.
broad spectrum that I'm working on.
I
Everything.
can tell.
I just want to be a blessing. Just want to be a blessing.
Continue being you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And again,
Remember,
we'll
vote.
come around and do this again.
Thank you. VoteBarnaby.com. All right.
All right.
VoteBarnaby.com. Thank you. God bless you and God bless your viewers and your listeners.